Right, howdy YouTube.
Hey, howdy.
Coming to you with a COVID special. As you can see, look, we're following our social distancing rules.
And we're live from Klaus.
And
Well,
we're
not live from Klaus.
Well, we're not live, but we're in Klaus.
Yeah, we're in Klaus. Klaus has had his safety done.
And
We can officially drive him on the road.
this is his first official drive.
Yeah.
Well, and ours, I guess. Safety's done, got a clean bill of health,
New brakes on the back.
new brakes, serviced the brakes up front. So we thought he'd do a quick video and recap on what's happened and what we've done over the last few months with Klaus, and what we've still got left to do, and what the next things, what the plans are, the next plans. So
Yeah.
when do we pick Klaus up? November, huh? I think November-ish.
Somewhere around there.
My glasses are fogging up. COVID problems. Yeah, so we picked him up in November. Couldn't drive it, didn't have plates, and we ended up getting it towed back home.
Which costs a fortune because we couldn't use our CAA membership because the car wasn't insured yet. So we had to pay
$565. I remember it well.
Oof.
Yeah. So that was a bit of an unplanned cost. So right off the bat, $4,000 for the car plus $565 to get it towed. But it was the right decision to do that. Since then, we've embarked on a whole bunch of servicing and preventative maintenance. Some of it we have not managed to film and post to YouTube, just purely down to, well, the fact that we were in winter. Some of it was COVID related, and but we definitely kept you guys up to date on our social media channels.
Yeah.
So
And I think most of the work we did was really just preventative maintenance. I mean, there wasn't really anything.
well, there was.
Really?
We had the shocks. We had
Yeah,
the
I mean,
leak.
There was nothing stopping it from being driven. I mean, we could have done all our road trips probably as it was, but it was obviously the right thing to do, getting it, getting all those things done and getting him in the best possible kind of shape to do the trips.
Yep. So as a recap, we've done an oil change. We've done spark plugs, coils, air filter,
Valve cover gasket,
valve cover gasket,
the shocks,
rear struts,
rear brakes now.
rear brakes. As you said, the front brakes were serviced as well. We have a fuel filter to still go in. That is preventative maintenance. There's no issue that we're experiencing that says we have to change it, but we don't know when it was done last, so it's a cheap part. I think it was like $20, so we might as well.
Probably never been done.
Probably never, no. I mean, if this, I checked the spare tire, and the spare tire is from 2007, so that's something else that we would need to get done at some point. What else have we done?
On top of that, just some detailing. I mean,
We got don't forget we did the hood release.
Oh yeah, so we did actually fix something that was broken.
Yes. And the light and the tail light.
Yes, yes. You also restored the headlights.
Yes.
Did some detailing inside and in the engine bay.
Yep, that's right. Just probably the first time it's seen any sort of cleaning in its life, to the level that we did anyway. I'm sure it's been through a car wash, but not to the level that we've done.
And to be honest, this car is in really good shape for a 14-year-old car with almost 230,000 Ks on
Yep.
it. It's nice and comfortable.
Yep. No warning
Very
lights.
comfortable.
So it's been a good journey, man. I know some of you have said, "Oh, you should have just bought a car that
was more reliable.
Yeah, a car that was sorted, that didn't have any problems."
But what's the fun in that?
No, exactly. Where's the fun in that? So we're glad we did it, and we're done now.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Regrets.
And we're now, what's the date today? The 10th. Yeah, the 10th.
Yeah.
So we're a little over a month away from our first road trip. So we've hit our
deadline. With plenty of time to spare. So
yeah.
Now it's the eager anticipation of hitting the road officially.
Yeah, that's it. Just some final things like finishing off the detailing. and
we still need to find rear tires. The current ones we have are fine, but they don't have a lot of life left in them.
no, we could safely do our next trip with them.
Oh yeah.
But they do need to be done, and the engine splash guard as well is something we need to do.
Yes.
So the plastic under tray from that protects the engine from underneath is just missing, and I don't feel really confident in driving thousands of kilometers with exposed pipes and electrical connections.
Especially when it comes to that Dempster Highway where you've got
we won't be
gravel
doing
being
that.
flicked up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just
So-
imagine having like a little stone get flicked up and like nick an oil line or something and then lose all oil and just be stuck literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. And it really would be in the middle of nowhere. I see the driving range is very busy, considering they all look like they're 2 meters apart. So we're just getting onto some back roads shortly. We're going to see how the car goes.
A bit of a cruise.
Yeah, a little bit of a cruise. But yeah, it's been good. I see cars idling beautifully.
Nice and smooth, yeah.
I'll put it in sport mode just now, but I'm very happy.
Me too.
We had a bit of an unforeseen cost yesterday. So one thing our Canadian government, which is a bit of a gripe with myself and I know many other people, is when you buy a car new, you will pay tax on that car, which is fine, that's normal. But then if I, as a private individual, sell that car to another private individual, that person buying the car has to pay tax on that car again. And when they sell it, the next person has to pay tax. So if the car is sold 10 times in its lifetime, the government collects tax 10 times on that car. And you know, we paid $4,000. Okay, so tax wouldn't be that much. Let's just close the sunroof here.
Yeah, tax
But-
would be $500.
Yeah. Now, but what the Ministry of Transport does is they have a blue book value for your car, and the value on this car is like $9,500. So we paid tax on $9,500.
Yeah, they very cleverly make you pay tax on whichever amount is higher.
Yep. So that was a little bit, I don't know, deflating yesterday, but it's done and we're happy. So we'll put that behind us and move on.
Yeah. Shit, man,
We're cruising in Klaus.
we did it. Well, we got ourselves to the start line.
Yeah.
We haven't done it yet.
Oh, it feels so good to get this car out, man.
Yeah.
With our Howdy A8 plates. Brilliant. And this might be a good time to remind you that if you haven't already, subscribe. And if you're subscribed, click the bell. Click it. Click now.
Press pause.
Click. Click, click, click. And give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Actually, we're going to go in here. We'll do a driver swap. Give Adam a go. Whoa, a bit of off-roading, eh? Look how Klaus deals with that. Like it's nothing.
Getting back to the Audi rally heritage.
Just at a much, much slower speed. Alrighty. Oh, it's so different on this side. Have you been to that tire place?
No.
Very good. Very good. It looks dingy, like where it is, but it's very good. I think it's got like a 4.7 Google rating.
Oh. I like time. Not like that.
Yeah, it's very good.
Why do you immediately go to? Well, I assume you're thinking ladyboys. Otherwise, you wouldn't have looked at me like that.
Just the way you said it.
Was that the first thing?
Like you were dreaming. Like, oh,
Was that the first thing that comes to your mind when someone says Thai? You're like, oh, ladyboys.
It's the first thing that comes to my mind when you say it's like that. Let's see if I can sleep in this car on trips.
There is a road trip game called While You Were Sleeping.
Oh, it goes far down. Oh my goodness. Whoa. I don't even need to get into the back seat. They'd probably torpedo out the windscreen if you had to brake. But you can actually sleep like this. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Can't get myself back up. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about our first trip, 15th of May. We're calling it a tour through Europe. If you've been following our channel and or you're on our social media, you'll see that we're not even leaving Ontario to do this trip.
Yeah, that's pretty much all in our backyard, so to speak.
Well, 505 kilometers backyard. So it's crazy to think just how big Ontario is. I mean, when we do our trip to the Arctic Ocean, we will drive for 10 hours on the first day, and we still won't be out of Ontario. It's massive.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the European tour.
Well, just on that, for our South African viewers, Ontario is slightly smaller than the whole of South Africa.
Yep.
So
it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, but back to the Europe trip. So we'll be visiting. How many is it? 7 or 8?
I don't know. Let's see if I can remember offhand. I think Paris will be the first one. Then Vienna.
Jeez, I can't remember them in order.
I'm trying to remember it in order. Copenhagen, Seville. I'm missing one down there at the bottom.
Towards the bottom.
Yeah.
No, you said Vienna,
Yeah.
you said Seville, you said Copenhagen.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's it. So then up to London, we're going to do Brussels. We're doing
Lisbon, is that
Zurich.
Zurich
Yeah.
as well.
And Lisbon. And maybe there's one more. Oh, Dublin. Dublin
Yeah.
is the other one. And then back to our home base in Hamilton.
Yeah.
So, yeah, about what do we say, 505 kilometers odd?
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
And early on, I had the idea of having a pint of the beer that's native to the country that city's from on each stop. But George quite cleverly pointed out that documenting ourselves drinking and driving is probably not the best idea.
And we don't do it.
No. But as a kind of consolation to that, I was thinking in each one of those towns, we see if we can buy a beer that's like a can or a bottle that's native to that country, and making us
Commemorate
like
the trip.
yeah, making us a little display case. Maybe we should buy extra and give one away as a prize. If you like, share, and subscribe.
Can you mail alcohol with Canada Post? I'm not so sure.
We can send you photos of your prize, and we'll just keep it for you until you come and get it.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. I wish it was next weekend actually.
Yeah. What was the other thing we needed to do? Which was that was just putting some power steering fluid in. So
Yep, some mineral oil. So Audi takes mineral oil. It's very specific. You can't mix the dot fluid, the regular dot fluid that a lot of cars use with this. So we have to just top that up a little bit. It's at the minimum mark. So again, just a preventative thing. Make sure the fluids are at the right levels.
yeah, I mean, all of that preventative maintenance, like I said, it wouldn't have stopped us from just getting in the car and driving. But you want that peace of mind of knowing that you aren't gonna, run low on power steering fluid and end up killing the power steering pump and then being stuck on the side of the road. And
we're so into our preventative measures that we've even put a fire extinguisher in the boot. Because again, middle of nowhere, you never know. We put a lot of work into Klaus, so.
I think we've been spooked from watching other YouTubers who work on older cars and restore them, and we saw the one fire. For any of you who do follow Hoovy's Garage,
yeah, we're talking to you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Thanks for making us get a fire extinguisher. And thanks to Tavarish, we've secured our fire extinguisher.
I'll just explain that if you haven't seen it. He was driving a McLaren 720?
No,
or 675.
675 Longtail.
That he had completely stripped down and was taken for his first test drive, and there were like no body panels on it. It was
looked like a go-kart.
Yeah,
like a buggy.
And he was testing the launch control in a car park, which, you know, obviously doesn't have a lot of room to play with, so he had to floor it but then slam on the brakes, and when he did, his fire extinguisher came loose and discharged itself, so there was like this massive cloud of like fire extinguisher dust.
Yep.
Which is funny to watch, but I wouldn't think it's funny to happen.
No.
To you. I would, like, poo would have come out.
And yeah, well, the other one was Hubie's Ferrari 355 burnt on the side of the road.
When he lent it to a friend.
Yep. Can you imagine that?
Oh.
Lending your Ferrari to a friend, and that friend phones you and says, yeah, about that.
A bad thing happened.
I can give you half the car back. Everyone's out for a drive today. How does that rattle? So this is Dundas Conservation Area. So we're driving through. It's very scenic. It's beautiful in the summer. It's green everywhere. We're very early spring. It's a beautiful day, as we already said, but trees are missing leaves still.
Some really nice trails through this forest as well. I can come and ride my mountain bike here quite a lot. Speaking of which, the trip that follows the Europe trip is man versus machine.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who watch Top Gear, it's reminiscent of a Top Gear style race. So I'll be riding my mountain bike, George will be driving the car, and we'll be driving to Paris, and I will be riding my bike from home to Paris. Now, that might sound like an unfair challenge, because, you know, obviously you can't ride as quickly as the car. So to make it to level the playing fields, George will be driving through towns that begin with letters that will spell out the word Paris.
Those I don't remember.
No, I can't remember those either. But the P is not Paris.
Yes, I think it's Preston Air, and then I don't know. I think one is Ingersoll.
Yes.
S Stratford. I don't know what the R is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So then the trip for the car is about 20-30 minutes longer than it should take on the bike. So it will give Adam a couple of, well, not a couple of minutes, some time to have a bit of a 5-minute break, have a drink, and then get on his merry way.
So it's about a 4.5 hour trip for each of us.
Yep.
I think for me on the bike it's like about 70 k's, and for George in the car it's
a lot. It's like 300, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Give it horns, man. Give it horns, eh? How quickly it gets up to 50 k's an hour, huh?
Well, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next time when we're doing our trip through Europe. See you next time. Bye.